Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we have our 100,000 subscriber special. Now very quickly here, I do want to take a quick second to say thank you to each and every one of you guys for all of your support and for helping me pass 100,000 subscribers. Would have never expected when I started doing YouTube that one day I would pass 100,000 subscribers. So thank you so much to each and every one of you guys. Now initially I was planning on doing a Q&A video and a setup tour, but I did ask you guys on Twitter what you wanted for a 100K special, and the vast majority of you guys asked for a majestic mane tutorial. So today I'm going to go through my complete hair routine, give you guys all the tips you need to know to growing out your very own majestic mane. I'm just kidding guys, we're going to go ahead and do a setup tour right here, then finish the video off with a Q&A. But I actually have two different setups that I use for doing YouTube, which I'll explain why in a second here. The first setup you can already see in front of you is where I spend about 95% of my time, where I do all the editing for the videos, where I play Clash Royale, where I respond to YouTube comments, as well as the live streams. All that stuff is done there. The actual recording part of the videos is done in a separate spot, which I'll explain why in a second. But over on the right-hand side of the room is just some random geeky stuff for decoration, just stuff that I kind of collected over the past many years. I actually have a signed copy of a comic there by Stan Lee, which is pretty cool, and then some more nerdy stuff down there. Now over on the other side of the room here is the main PC powering my setup, which I will leave all the specs for in the description down below if you are interested, although the PC is about 9 years old right now, so nothing too crazy. Definitely starting to show its age. Absolutely looking to upgrade that in the future here. I do have a second monitor over there, which is turned off right now. I only really ever use it for live streaming. That is the iPad that I use to play Clash Royale. It is an iPad Air 1, if you're wondering. Looking at my keyboard over here, you can see one key is actually missing. I am ashamed to admit, guys, that is from a Clash Royale tilt. Now, over in the corner here, we have a printer, a router, an old iPad 2, which I basically never use anymore because it's too slow to play Clash Royale. And I also have an external hard drive in the corner there, which right now is extremely full. I got to buy a second one because I only have 5 gigabytes of space free on my computer. So that is the overall main setup that I spend about 95% of my time. Now, in case you guys were wondering why I have a second setup for recording, well, looking outside of the office right here is the kitchen of the house. Now, this office is located in the main floor, right in the middle of everything in the house, which means it is kind of disruptive if I am recording and my wife is home or people are over. So I have a second setup in the basement for the actual recording part of the videos. Now, this is an unfinished basement. The house is only about 4 years old right now, coming on 5 years here pretty soon, which is why the basement is unfinished. But taking a look over here, guys, we have my basement set up. So on the left-hand side is my gym, which admittedly I don't use as much as I would like. And then over on the other side, we have a furnace as well as a hot water tank. Really nice decorations in this basement setup. But over here, guys, you guys might recognize this spot right here. Now, I get a lot of comments in my videos asking if the brick wall is real. And spoiler alert, guys, it is not. It is a fake brick wall. Then over here is where I spend the bulk of my time recording the videos. I have a standing desk that I built myself. Only costs around $30 in materials. I used to sit down to record my videos, but I like having the standing desk. Helps improve the energy of the recording. So I decided to build myself a desk instead of buying one for a couple $100s. Now on either side of the standing desk, we do have a couple of lights to help improve the lighting, because in an unfinished basement, the lighting isn't too great. Now over in the corner here is a 2014 13-inch MacBook Pro, just the base model, nothing too crazy. But with MacBooks as well as an iPad and iOS, it is so easy to record your iPad screen with QuickTime. Now up here is the webcam that I use for talking to all of you lovely folks. Then down here we have a keyboard, a mouse, as well as a comb for making sure the beard is fresh. And then up here we have a boom arm connected to a Blue Yeti microphone. Now down here we have a little bit of cable management just to make sure my headphone wires are out of the way and don't interfere with the recordings at all. Pretty messy, but it gets the job done. Now let's go ahead, take a quick look at my gym, guys, just in case you guys are interested. So over here, I do have a power rack with an accessory bar at the back right there. Really kind of happy with that, because when you work out by yourself, it's really important to have those safety bars on both sides to make sure you don't kind of injure yourself. And then down over here, we have something pretty cool. They're called power blocks, and what they are is adjustable dumbbells. They go all the way from 15 pounds up to 90 pounds in 5-pound increments. So pretty cool, saves a ton of space versus having all of the individual dumbbells laid out. So kind of happy with that product right there. But that overall, guys, is the basement setup. Let's go ahead here and get on with the Q&A. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started with the Q&A portion of the video. I do want to quickly apologize if I don't get your question into the video. There were over 600 comments in yesterday's video, and I just don't have enough time to answer every single question. But I want to start off by answering the most common questions first, like how old are you and are you married and stuff like that. So I am 27 years old. I am married. No kids currently. That is another pretty common question. Now, in terms of what kind of software I use for editing my videos, we already covered the hardware in that setup tour. I use QuickTime on my MacBook to record my iPad screen. I use the Photo Booth app on my MacBook to record my face cam. And I use Photoshop for thumbnails, overlays, and graphics. And I use Adobe Premiere Pro for editing the videos. Now, in terms of my favorite card or my favorite archetype in the game, I would have to say the Hog Rider as my favorite card, with the Cycle decks and Control decks being my favorite archetype. I've been using the Hog Rider as the primary deck in the game basically ever since the game first came out back in January of last year, so that definitely is my go-to deck to use right now on ladder. And in terms of other games that I played, the most recent game that I did complete was Horizon Zero Dawn on the PS4, and the games that I'm playing in the future, I'm looking forward to Zelda on the Nintendo Switch. Just kind of recently came out back in March, and I haven't had a chance to play it yet. I do play mostly PC games, mostly online games like World of Warcraft, Overwatch, Diablo 3, stuff like that, but I haven't had too much time recently to play other video games because it is summer in Canada, and summer where I am only really lasts like 3 months, so I try and make the most of it while it's here. I try and get out there and enjoy the sun, so typically during these summer months, I don't play too many other video games. Now, in terms of why I got started with YouTube in the first place, there are actually two answers to this question. The first is I've always wanted to know how to edit videos and how to use Photoshop, and YouTube seemed like a great way to teach myself those skills, because when I got started with YouTube, I had absolutely zero knowledge of any of the programs related to creating YouTube videos. And the second answer is I used to spend a ton of time watching YouTube and thinking to myself, man, I would love to be able to do what these guys are doing and post videos online and have a ton of fun in the process. And finally, one day, I got enough motivation, enough courage to post my very first video. When are you going to visit me in Australia? Honestly, my wife would love to visit Australia. Me, on the other hand, I'm kind of afraid of stuff like spiders and stuff, and I've heard there are massive ones in Australia, so I'm not too sure if or when I would ever visit there. How much time do you spend playing Clash Royale in a typical day? Well, outside of recording the actual videos, typically I would say like 2 or 3 hours. It's been a bit less recently because it is summer in Canada, and I tend not to spend too much time playing video games in the summer. Just a question for the viewers, do you guys actually use this decks or just watch it for fun? This is actually a very cool question, and I'm super interested to hear what you guys have to say. Do you guys watch my videos just for fun, or do you actually use the decks that I post on my videos? Do you ever want to branch off into other things that aren't Clash related? Not at the moment. I'm pretty content doing just Clash Royale videos right now, but definitely let me know if you guys are interested in seeing other videos from me. How do you have such luscious locks? That is a very good question, my friend. Why do you think some people stop playing Clash Royale? Honestly, I would say it's probably because it is summer and more people spend less time playing video games during these summer months than in the winter. I definitely expect more people to come back to the game during fall as well as winter. Do you plan on making merch? Honestly, I haven't thought too much about it, but if you guys are interested in Clash with Shane merchandise, let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think about the way Clash Royale is balanced at the moment? Honestly, I'm fairly happy with it. There are a couple of cards that I definitely want to see change in the next update, like the Night Witch, but overall, I'm pretty happy with the current state of balance. How many percentages of the decks you show on your channel are created by you? Not 100% sure I could put a percentage on it, but if I had to guess, I would say probably like 33%, maybe 1/3 of the decks are created by me. That seems a bit low, but I'm just kind of guessing right here, guys. A lot of the decks, like if I'm facing a particular deck in battle over and over and over again, then I'll go ahead and do a video on it and cover it. But some of the other strategies are purely created by me. I'll sit down and be like, hey, I want to do a P.E.K.K.A. balloon deck. From there, I'll play around with a bunch of different stuff and find a strategy that works for me. Do you still work out today? A little bit, but not as often as I would like. Definitely got to get more on that and be a little bit more motivated. When making these amazing decks, what comes in mind when making them, and what are some tips on making a deck for people wanting to make them on their own? Like I said before, if I get a particular idea in my head, like a P.E.K.K.A. Balloon deck, then I'll go ahead, put both of those cards in a deck, and then throw some other cards in there, do a couple of practice runs, and usually in the first battle or two, I'll know whether or not the deck is working and what cards should be changed. So for you guys, if you're making a deck on your own, it helps to keep in mind what cards are strong in the current meta. But when you build a deck, you have to kind of think to yourself, what other decks will I face at my trophy range, and do I have cards in my deck that I'm building to counter those strategies? And then from there, play a couple of practice rounds with that deck on ladder, and usually, like I said before, within the first battle or two, you should have a good idea if the deck is working or not. And then from there, you can go ahead and make changes to the deck if it isn't working. What would be the best deck for an Arena 7 player with Sparky? Honestly, check out my Sparky Hog deck that I did in a video a couple of weeks ago. I was using a level 7 account in Hog Mountain. I love using that Hog Sparknado deck, so I would highly recommend using it. Which shampoo do you use and why? How many brands did you need to search through to get those luscious locks? Very closely guarded secret. What card do you regret spending time and money upgrading? As a YouTuber, it definitely helps having a wider variety of cards upgraded, so I don't really regret too many of them, but if I had to pick a couple, I would probably say like the Tesla Tower as well as the Spirit Goblin Hut. How long did it take for you to start obtaining subscribers? How much work did you do? Well, it took me 1 month to hit 100 subscribers, 3 months to hit 1,000 subscribers, and 9 months to hit 10,000 subscribers. Why don't you do a hair donation like Yarn? Honestly, if I were to ever get my hair cut, I would absolutely 100% do a donation run with that haircut. Hey Shane, is this your only job? If not, what else do you do besides YouTube? This is a pretty common question that I get, especially during my live streams. As of right now, YouTube is my full-time gig, but that's mostly because it is summer and I want as much time as I possibly can have to go out there and enjoy it while it's here. So probably in the future, when fall comes or winter comes, I might get out there and find something else. But as of right now, YouTube is the full-time thing. What was the main thing which encouraged you to continue making YouTube videos when your channel was small? This is a very important question, especially if you are a smaller content creator watching this and you're in that situation. Now, it's very hard to stay motivated when you are a small YouTuber spending hours on a video only to get a couple of views. But the biggest thing is to make sure you are doing YouTube for the right reasons. If you have a passion for creating decks, for playing Clash Royale, then it is a lot easier to stay motivated. And also for me, a big, huge motivator for doing my videos was interacting with my fans. Even if I only had like 2 or 3 people commenting on my videos, it was enough to keep me going because I love interacting with all of my fans. What do you do when you're not recording? Well, right now in the summer, I try to be out and about doing stuff, enjoying the sun, whether I'm out hiking or fishing or camping, stuff like that. I really love summertime, so I really prefer going out there and enjoying these summer months. Shane, have you ever raged in Clash Royale at least once? Yes, all the time. It's very important to notice when you are tilting, because typically if you're raging or tilting in the game, you're not playing to the best of your ability. I know personally, like the day after I rage in Clash Royale, I'll go back on the game and watch my replays and see a bunch of mistakes that I was making during the battles. But absolutely, 100%, I have raged in the past in Clash Royale. How are you able to win mostly all of your battles when you test a deck for a video? Well, I do a lot of the testing before I actually start recording a deck for a video. I always make sure that I'm comfortable with the strategy of a deck before I start recording. But anyways guys, that is the end of the video. I do want to apologize one more time for not being able to answer everyone's question in the video. Like I said before, there were over 600 comments on the video, so there just wasn't enough time to answer every single question. But once again, I do want to thank you guys for all of your support and helping me reach 100,000 subscribers. Thank you so much guys, you are all super awesome. We will see you in the next one.